Welcome to the part 2 of creating an AI code editor. In this video, we are going to create the backend for our AI code generator. So in our index.js, we can create another batch. So we can say app.get and we can call it generate code. Generate codes. We're going to get the request and response. And here for now, let's just say const prompt equals to request.query.prompt. If nothing is passed, we can simply say create a to-do app. Okay, for all the AI related stuff, we're going to use ChatGPT or OpenAI API. So simply go to platform.openai.com. And then you have to sign up, and I am already signed up, so I'm going to click on login and log in with my Google account. And after that, you're going to have to click on settings and then API keys, and you're going to have to create a new API key, and you have to name it. So let's name it AI code editor and default project, and then click on create secret key, and then you have to click on the copy button to copy it. And then in our server, we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it .env. Here we're going to say OpenAI API key equals to, and then copy this, paste it like so. And by the way, use your own API key. This one will not work for you. This is only for me. Okay. Then in our server, we can create a new folder called utils. In the utils, we can create a new file, call it ai.js. You can name it whatever you want. So first thing we want to do is improve the prompt. If the user simply say create a to-do app, we want to expand it. So for example, if the user say create to-do app, we want to expand the prompt into saying create a simple to-do app, and the to-do app should have the following functionalities like adding a to-do app, marking it as complete, etc, etc. So basically we have to enhance this prompt. So for that, we're going to use the OpenAI API. So if I search for OpenAI npm, we get this library. We get the OpenAI library. We are going to use this one. So copy this code, new terminal, cd into server, and then paste the code. So back to the OpenAI, done. And then if we click on docs, we get a simple code snippet of how to use it. Copy, and we can paste it. What we want to do is create a new function. So function, the name of our function will be improve prompt, and it will receive prompt as an argument. And we also need a system prompt. So what a system prompt is, it is telling the AI what it is, how it should interact. So let me just paste the code and then show you. So we're going to say const improvement prompt equals to, it will be a string, and inside the string I'm going to paste some text. And let's look at what we're saying. So you are a professional prompt engineer. Your job is to improve users' prompt for generating web apps using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Your task is to improve users' prompt by making it more specific, detailed, and clear, but also keeping it simple and concise. Your output should be a single line of text without any additional explanation or formatting. So for example, if the user says create a sortable to-do app, you should expand it into saying create a to-do list app with the following feature. Add new task, mark as complete, delete task, sort task by dragging and dropping, use modern JavaScript, etc. and add good styling and make it visually appealing. And this is basically, we're telling our AI how to act, and you can use your own prompt or copy this. I'm going to leave the link to the full project in the video description. So now in this function, what we're going to have to do is say const response equals to await. This has to be an asynchronous function. So await client.chat.completions.create, and then we have to choose which model we want, because if we go here and then click on models, as you can see we get a lot of model, but I want to use the O4 mini. So we're going to say model is gonna be GPT-4o-mini. And oh, by the way, you have to go to settings and then billing, and you have to make sure you have some balance in your account. So you can click on add credit to add some balance to your account, otherwise the API will actually not work. And then we're going to say messages. Here we're passing two messages. First one is the system message where we're passing the improvement prompt, and then another one is user message where we're passing the prompt that we pass in our function. And then we're going to say return. It will be response choices 0 message.content.trim. A long word, but this is how you do it. And then we can say module.exports improve prompt function. We should also import it using require syntax. So we're going to say const OpenAI equals to require OpenAI. And by the way, here you need to pass an API key. But since our env variable name is OpenAI API key, which is the default, we don't have to pass anything. It will work on its own. Okay, now let's try to use this. So we're going to copy this, go to our index.js and import it somewhere. So let's import it here. So we're going to say const improve prompt equals to require util/AI. And let's try to use it. We're going to say const improved prompt equals to, and again we are going to have to make this async. We can say await improve prompt and then the prompt. And for now let's just say console.log improve prompt equal to this, and we can say res.send, and we can send anything. Let's just say hello. So now in our browser, if I go to localhost :3000 and then generate codes, okay, it looks like our server has crashed. Let's see why is that. It's saying environment key is missing because the environment variable is not being able to access. So we just have to move this .env.config line before our import statement, save it, and this is working now. Refresh. And as you can see, our prompt was created to do app since we didn't pass any query, and this prompt became this prompt here. So improve prompt equal to created to do app that allows user to edit, delete task, etc, etc. Okay, so now we are getting our improved prompt from a prompt. Now we want to use this prompt to generate the codes. So for that, in our AI function, we're going to create another function. So let's say function, and we're going to call it generate response stream. So by saying stream, we won't get all the text at once, but the text will be streamed, and we'll receive the prompt as argument. And then we can return. We're going to say client.chat.completions.create. We're going to have to pass a system prompt, which we'll create, and a user prompt, which will be the prompt we pass. And here we're simply saying stream equal to true, so it will stream the data. So let's create the system prompt. I'm going to say const code system prompt equals to, it will be again a string, and again I'm going to paste some text, then explain to you. So this is our system prompt. It is very long, but again, link to the full source code will be in the video description, so you can easily copy paste it. But simply what we're saying is our AI will be a professional front-end developer. His job is to generate code based on user prompt following these strict rules. So only output 3 sections: HTML, CSS and JavaScript. And very important, I am saying all the sections should be separated by this thing. You can call it whatever you want. And also this is not the best way to do it, but this is the most simplest way, and I want to keep this video simple, so I'm saying this. But you can also improve this however you want. So we're also saying only use plain HTML, CSS and JavaScript, no framework like React, Vue, but you can use React or Vue. That's up to you. It is responsive and visually modern. All style should go in the CSS section, all JavaScript should go in the JS section, and they should be linked using this link tag and script tag. And we can also use external CDNs. To use the CDN, we're going to use the CDN link like this. And we're also saying think before generating, understand the prompt, and do not include thought process, just the code. And we're also passing an example. So first we'll get the HTML, then we'll get this text, then we'll get the CSS, then we'll get this text, and then we'll get the JavaScript. So this is our system prompt, and we're going to pass the system prompt in our generate response stream. We're going to pass our system prompt, so code system prompt, and we have to export it, and let's try to use it. So in our index.js, we're also going to import our generate response. So here, instead of just console logging this, what we can do is say const equals to await generate response stream, and we're also actually passing our improvement prompt, our improved prompt, not the original prompt, which is maybe just create a simple to-do app, but the improved one, for example this. And then what we can do is say for, and it will be awaited for loop, so for await, and then we can say const event of stream. So each of the little words we get will be each a event, and then we can say const chunk equals to event choices 0 dot delta dot content and or nothing, an empty string. And these might also come as null or undefined, so we can use this syntax. And then we can console log it, so console dot log our chunk, and let's try to refresh and see what happens. And we're getting the chunks. Let's control C. And everything was coming in a new line. So if I want to see, if I don't want new line, what I can do is instead of console.log, we can say process.stdout.write, and this will write without any new lines. Try to refresh. And as you can see, this is how our output is being streamed. Control C, exit out. So now instead of just writing in the terminal, instead of simply writing in the terminal, we want to send this in our front end somehow. First, I don't want to write this, and what we can do is wrap everything in a try catch block. So cut this, we're going to say try, and then if something goes wrong, we can use a catch block. And then in the try block, we paste this. So after getting our stream, what we have to do is set some header. So we're going to say res.setHeader. The content type will be text/event stream. And then we're going to say res.setHeader. And then we're going to say transfer encoding. It will be chunked. And here we can check if we have a chunk. If we do, we can say res.write, and we can simply write our chunk. We can also add a question mark here to be super sure. And after we're done writing, instead of res.send, we're gonna have to say res.end, like this. And in the catch block, if we get an error, we're going to console log the error, and then we're going to say if our headers are not sent, then we're going to say res.status equals to 5000 and then JSON, and then a JSON object failed to generate codes. Otherwise, we can simply say res.end. And this should be all for our backend. In the next video, we'll be creating our front end. So be sure to subscribe for that, and I'll see you in the next video.